everyone, Didier Le Miere here from Fixon Media Group. Going to be going and dissecting another brand film that has been premiered during this year's Paris Olympics. This time we're looking at Omega, the watch company that is the official timekeeper of the Paris Olympics for 2024. We're going to go through and dissect what's really good about this brand film, what's not so good, and what learnings can you take away as a marketer or as a business owner and implement in your own video marketing to improve and drive revenue going forward. So let's take a look. Alrighty, so straight away, 3 seconds in, I've got to be critical. This at the start here, the logo, official timekeeper, not necessary. Straight away as a viewer, even though the music, the little piano keys, the cues, despite all of that being engaging, this logo just kills it. Straight away as a viewer, you're thinking to yourself, this is a commercial. This is an advertisement. Straight away. Why? Because the logo is shown. The engagement of this film has just dropped. Straight away. Viewers have brought the defensive guard up. They know it's commercial. They know they're being pitched to. They've probably clicked off, realistically. But unfortunately for you, you've got to watch this film with me. So we're stuck on this. We're going to keep watching. But yeah, Omega could completely disregard this logo at the start, keep everything else the same, and viewers would have been stuck into it in the opening 3 seconds, but now they're clicked off. Let's keep watching.
Encore une journée où je rêve des droits de ce monde. Ocho. Encore une journée où je rêve des droits.
Alrighty. I really love this. I really, really love it. The music is very engaging. It's very moody, suspenseful. It's building towards something. So as a viewer, we want to be engaged. We want to stay within the film because we think something's building. We have a little bit of anticipation building in our guts to think, oh, gee, something is coming. So we want to keep engaged to know what's going to happen at the end. And I love these shots. Obviously, it's incredibly well filmed, well shot. But I love this. Again, you're thinking to yourself, why is this swimmer on a board in a cloud? That's not normal. So we're engaged. Our brain is ticking over. What is about to happen? That anticipation is building, which is great. Then it goes from the swimmer, goes to the streets of Paris. They've got this French voiceover, which I'm not going to pay much attention to. I could tell you what they're saying, but that's not really the point of this film and this dissection. But again, now we've got a sprinter starting in the streets. We've got a diver diving into a pool that is on a sign, right? Golfer on top of the landmark here. All these different shots. Again, it's very well filmed, but that's not the point of this dissection. The point of this dissection is it's keeping us in the film as viewers. The music is building to something, building the anticipation. The shots are great, but what's even better is that we're thinking to ourselves, did they actually film these athletes on top of these structures? Did they put a swimmer in the sky? Did they put this golfer on top of here? No, of course they didn't. But our brain is ticking over thinking, just what is going on? And because of that, we're engaged in this film. It's great so far, except for that logo at the start. But let's keep watching.
Ce monde on charbonne fort à la recherche de ce petit truc qui choquera tout le monde. Les yeux rivés sur moi, je cours après le temps, je vise le record de la monte. N'importe qui j'affronte, je sens la pression qui monte, y'a toute la foule qui mate. C'est ton moment maintenant, le succès c'est tout droit. Tu crois en toi, tu sais que t'as tout donné pour en arriver là. Les yeux rivés sur toi, va chercher l'or, vise le record de la montre. Déterminé à être roi ou reine de ce monde.
There we go. It's a very good brand film. It's not exemplary because there's a number of things that we need to remove and improve, but it is a great brand film. So let's talk about the music. Again, it's building towards something, it's building that anticipation, and then the lyrics come through, Born to Be a Legend. So that's great. I think as a brand film for Amiga, this is not great. Why is it not great? Because it has the logo directly at the start, as we spoke about before. I don't mind this little bit of product placement here. I don't mind it. Obviously, we've got the watch pretending to be the discus circle for our discus thrower here. I love how they've integrated Paris into this film, and obviously that was the idea behind the film. All these iconic Parisian landmarks, incorporate them into sporting venues. Love it. And they've done a terrific job at that. I don't mind all that side of things. Even this, for example, this is meant to be, a river, a lake, and it's got the Amiga watch there. I don't mind that. That's not bad. Obviously, we think it's an Amiga commercial because we know it is straight away because of that logo. But let's consider the logo wasn't there as an example. Would we still have the defensive guard up after the watch has been shown a couple of times? Possibly. Probably yes. I think this film would have done a lot better for Amiga if it had been used as just an Olympic preview. So you would have seen on your broadcasts of the Olympics, they would have had some sort of pre-roll film to build your excitement and your anticipation. This film would have been great for that. And I think if Amiga had have removed their brand from the film, from the logo from the start of the film, and if they have designed a few other things here to think it's like a watch, like very, very easily here, they could keep this entire watch design, remove the Amiga logo from the top right here, remove the coaxial chronometer here, and keep the rest of it. And that would have been enough. That would have been enough to keep us thinking about what's going to happen later on in the film. And it would have worked later on in terms of call to action as well. I'll get to that in just a second. I'm being very critical here because this has the potential to be an incredibly well-made brand film. But they've just missed some core components here. Let's go from the start. So obviously we've got the logo. That's a big no-no. You want to have your logo at the very, very end of a brand film, not at the very start. Everything else is pretty good. This bit here with the discus thrower, again, probably too much of a product placement. You can probably keep everything here, but remove the Amiga logo and just keep it as a watch, because everything else works in, and you'll see why in a second. Everything else is fine. Then, as I said, we've got the lake, as I spoke about before. Just remove the logo. Everything else is fine. Then we get to this scene here, where we've got the swimmer on the bridge. And then it's official timekeeper. Not ideal. So what could Amiga have done instead? I think there's two perspectives we can look at this. So the first one is that this could have just been a film made by the Olympics as a bit of a promo for the Paris Games. Keep the watch elements by removing the Amiga logos off the watches. And then the call to action could have been something along the lines of... because we've got the lyrics going. It says "Born to Be a Legend," right? And we've got these watches shown twice throughout the film, ticking along. So as a viewer, you're thinking, "Oh, geez, what's coming next?" And the music's keeping us engaged, the shots keeping us engaged. That's all fine. So the call to action instead of having this official timekeeper bit here, the call to action could have been something like, it's time to show the world. That would be an idea of call to action. Something very weaker would be, it's time to shine. That'd be incredibly weak. But, something along those lines of, it's time to show the world. That would have been a really good call to action because it makes sense. You've got these athletes being shown. It's contextual and timely because it's Olympic athletes and it's the Olympic Games. It's being premiered during the Olympics, so that's all ticking the boxes there. Then you've got these watches shown twice throughout to provide context as to the call to action. So that would work really well, I think. That's the first the first perspective. The other one would be removing the idea of an Olympic promo, just saying it's an Amiga brand film. They probably could have done the same thing, to be honest with you. They probably could have said, it's time to show the world, instead of saying official timekeeper here. And then they could have had this finish as well, and that would have been fine. So, yeah. Big missed opportunity here for Amiga, in my opinion. They definitely could have done a much, much better job. And unfortunately for them, they started off on the back foot from the very first frame by showing that logo at the start. Viewers would have lost their engagement straight away. They would have known it's a commercial as opposed to be watching a film. Now, you can very much argue, and this is a very valid argument as well, that the shots that they chose by having the CGI of the athletes jumping over things and throwing over landmarks and what forth, that gives sign to being a commercial. And you're 100% correct. But in the way that they've done it, because it's so engrossing and it's timely and it's contextual, I think it would have been okay. I think viewers wouldn't have looked at it and been like immediately thinking, okay, this is a commercial. They probably would have just thought, this is a promo for the Olympics. And they would have watched it. That's a big tick of the box. And because of that, the message that they want to communicate would have been achieved. Let's give it the idea that this is a commercial for Amiga. It's a brand film for Amiga. It's time to show the world as the call to action. Amiga, official timekeeper of the Paris Olympic Games. I think that still works in terms of driving revenue for Amiga, in terms of driving customers to their brand. Because if I'm out there and I see this call to action and I'm thinking it's time to show the world, and the context of it is that these athletes are showing the best that they can do, I want to show the world the best that I can do. And if that means I have to go and buy an Amiga watch to do that, then that's what I'm going to do. So I think it works in that context. So, look, the key takeaway from this film, it's a great piece of work. The branding kills it. That's the takeaway here. The idea of a brand film is you want to communicate your message in a very subtle manner, in a subconscious manner. And you can't do that if you're showing your logo at the very start of the film and in the middle of the film. The only time your logo should be coming up in a brand film is at the very, very end. So I hope you can learn something from this video, take away just one piece of learning from it and implement it in your brand going forward. Because this had the potential to be such a brilliant brand film and it's been ruined just by some very simple errors. So I hope you've enjoyed that breakdown. Enjoy the rest of your day.